Hello and good afternoon or maybe good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Pavel Topov and I'm part of the SRT team, which organized this great webinar. And we're super happy to see so many students joining us from different parts of the world. Welcome to Fidan from Azerbaijan, and we'll be glad to hear where you're watching us from. Today we have an amazing session crafted for you with representatives from three great universities of France. And also we have the pleasure to have with us today a representative from Campus France. Let me just introduce to you our representatives, Tech Business School, Vatel Bordeaux, and Excelia Group. May I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to join us and say hi to the students?
Hi from Bordeaux and Vatel.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie from ESSEC Business School.
Hello everybody, I'm Agung and I'm from Excelia Group.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking forward to hear your great presentations today. But before that, I would like to introduce to you our other speaker, Ms. Anar Hamzina from Campus France office in the beautiful Almaty, Kazakhstan, who is going to give us a little bit of an overview about the education in France and how you can apply to a French university. We'll be with the four of you very shortly. So thank you very much for joining us today, and let's give the floor to Ms. Anar. Anar, the floor is yours.
Hello. Thank you for this very great opportunity to present. Okay, so my name is Anar. And I'm a coordinator of Campus France Bureau in Almaty, Kazakhstan. I'm going to present you very briefly, starting in France. Here you have my contacts, but you're going to have all the contacts after that with all other documents. You have more than 3,500 public and private institutions of higher education in France, universities, grande écoles, business schools, engineering schools. You have a wide range, variety of choice and opportunities for you. Let's talk about what kind of institutions you have. So public universities receive more than 75% of foreign students of those who pick France for the post-secondary education. The public institutions are covered by the French state. That means that the French state subsidizes the most of the cost of your tuition fees. Here you have the system of higher education, and talking about the tuition fees, which is very important. It is very important to note that compared to other countries, you don't have to pay a lot for your higher education. Since 2018, international students have to pay differentiated tuition fees and enrollment fees, but it's still not that a lot, because if you can see on this diagram, the French state covers the 2/3 of the real cost of your studies. That means that the real cost is nearly 10,000 euros per year, and you have to pay just 2,770 euros per year for your bachelor's degree and 3,770 euros per year for your master's degree. The good news is that if you choose to do your research work in France, you have to pay in every university, every student has to pay just 380 euros. But we still have, France still has 24 public universities that exempt international students from this differentiated tuition fees. And you can see that in all these universities, you have to pay just 170 euros per year for your bachelor's degree and 243 euros for your master's degree. Let's talk about important things, the details of your enrollment. The other good news is that it's only mandatory to pass via Campus France in your country when you apply for a first year of bachelor's degree. It's very simple, actually. The only exam that you have to pass is the French proficiency test, which is really simple and really legit. So you have a choice between the DELF and DALF examinations or TCF. So what's the difference? The big difference is that the DELF or DALF are the diplomas that you are going to have for your whole life, unlike the IELTS exam. The structure of these examinations is pretty the same as the IELTS exam. You have the speaking, writing, reading, and listening. But you also can pass the TCF, which is a test, and you don't have a speaking part. But unlikely the DELF or DALF, you are going to have it just for 2 years, and it's very restrictive. You can use it just for applying. You can pass these exams in one of the Alliances Françaises in your country. When you are applying for the first year in bachelor's degree, you have a choice whether you pick 3 universities with 1 major, or you choose 1 university with 3 majors. So you have a choice. And the list of documents is really simple that you can find on our website. You're going to have this active link. I would also like to talk to you about studying management in universities or in business schools, as we're having this wonderful guest today from business schools in France. If you hesitate to choose whether university or a business school to study management and business, you just have to know that the difference is in methodology and approaches. You're going to have lots of theory in university, and it's going to be oriented toward research. So if you want to do research, go to university. But if you want to find a job and succeed in finding a job, and a very good job, you will choose business school, because you're going to work on your hard and soft skills, and you're going to have a wide range of international internships. And it's also really, unlike the universities, really focused on practice and professional skills. So the other thing that I wanted to show you is that in this presentation, for example, or anywhere else on our website, you have these useful links. The Campus France provides you with the necessary information about the bachelor degrees programs, master's programs, and also programs taught in English. Even if you're going to study in France, you can have a choice between 1,500 programs in English, and you have a catalog for that. All these links, these are the online catalogs of all the programs. If you're interested in studying art or architecture, you also can have an access to a catalog. If you're interested in PhD, everything you need, you can find online. And don't hesitate to contact us, Astana's Campus France or Campus France in Almaty, so we can answer to all your questions by mail or by WhatsApp, and don't hesitate. And it's pretty much everything I wanted to tell you. Here you have our contacts, and now you are going to watch a wonderful video presenting the ESSEC Business School in France. And thank you so much for your attention.
Are you looking to embark on a fulfilling international career? Interested in pursuing a career in business, but expect something more from your studies? But how do you get there? ESSEC's Global BBA is the first step of the journey, guiding you to realize your goals. Because at ESSEC, we have been training responsible top managers with international careers since 1907.
As an academic institution of excellence, ESSEC has obtained the prestigious Triple Crown accreditation from EQUIS, AACSB and AMBER.
We are among the world's top management schools today, guided by our pioneering spirit. The ESSEC Global BBA program is a 4-year multi-campus bachelor's degree in business administration designed to train future managers in key business functions such as management, HR, marketing, finance, accounting, and equip them with the necessary soft skills to make the difference. But what makes it different? 2 things. 1. A truly international experience. 2. A hands-on practical approach to business with close interaction and ties with the corporate world. At ESSEC, we strongly believe in learning by doing. So the Global BBA integrates at least 10 months of professional experiences to explore all sides of the business, have a different perspective, and define your goal. With our network of partner companies and our career services at home and abroad, a world of opportunity awaits. Because the BBA was built with an international experience in mind. By joining the ESSEC Global BBA, you will have the choice to study at ESSEC campuses in France, Singapore or Morocco, and in another country for an exchange program at one of over 150 partner universities. Students and professors come from more than 90 different countries, a network of over 50,000 alumni, countless possibilities, and that's what makes a difference in the job market. ESSEC, the pioneering spirit.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Julie from ESSEC Business School. So for the next 10 minutes, I will briefly go through what ESSEC Business School has to offer. So I will be presenting ESSEC Business School in a nutshell, and then I will focus on the Global BBA program. So ESSEC Business School is a French leading business school created in 1907. So we have French roots, but now we really are a world school. A world school because we have 4 campuses across the world. So we have 2 campuses in the Paris region. So as you can see on the left, we have her historical campus located in Cergy. So Cergy is located at 35 minutes from the center of Paris. So the advantage of this location is that you can really enjoy the campus life. We have student residence, we have sports facilities, we have a big park, for example, and you're very close to Paris. The second campus that we have is the ESSEC Asia Pacific campus, located in Singapore. And the third campus is the ESSEC Africa campus, located in Rabat in Morocco. Okay, so ESSEC, it's also more than 6,000 students now, both undergraduate students and graduate students, with a network of now 55,000 alumni and graduates all over the world. The international and the fact that we are a world school can also be seen in the student body. We have, for example, more than 98 nationalities on all our campuses. And what is also important about ESSEC is that we are an academic institution of excellence. So the Global BBA, for example, was constantly ranked first in various French rankings. ESSEC as a school is the 7th European school according to the Financial Times, and for example, her master in management was ranked 3rd in the world, also by according to the Financial Times. Okay, so now I wanted to focus on the Global BBA program, so the undergraduate program. So the Global BBA, it's a Global Bachelor in Business Administration. It's a 4-year bachelor degree that you can follow in French or totally in English. So if you don't speak French, that's all right. All courses can be taught in English. And you can choose to start your Global BBA program in the campus in France or in the campus in Singapore. So what makes this program unique, I would say? Well, we have 3 important elements in the Global BBA. I already mentioned the first one, the academic excellence. So as I said, the Global BBA was ranked first in various French rankings like L'Étudiant, for example, Challenge, or Le Point. The second important point in the global BBA is the professional experience. So to give you an example, during the 4 years, students will gain between 10 and 16 months of professional experience. So you have to do an internship of 3 months at the end of the first year, 1 month the second year, and then 6 months during the third or the fourth year. Or you also have the possibility to do the apprenticeship. So the apprenticeship, for those who don't know, it's a unique learning experience. So you have a 2-year contract with a company. So it's 6 months at ESSEC, 6 months in the company, 6 months back at ESSEC, 6 months in the company. So you really have a strong professional experience. You also receive a monthly income, and your company will pay for your tuition fee for the last 2 years. So to give you an idea, it's more or less 30% of our students who choose to follow the apprenticeship track. We have put on the slide example of companies where our students are currently doing or did the past few years their apprenticeship. Okay. This third, but very important point that I wanted to mention is the international perspective. So as I said, we have campus in 3 continents. So you can start in the campus in France or in the campus in Singapore. And you also have the possibility to switch campuses during your studies, to spend 6 months in one of the other ESSEC campuses. All of our students also have to do a semester or 1 year abroad in a partner university. So to give you an example, now we have more than 170 university partners around the world. So it's top-ranked university. You can choose if you want to go in Europe, North America, South America, Asia. You really have a lot of options and possibilities. It can be for 6 months. It can also be for 1 year. We also have the possibility to do a double degree. So if you do the double degree, you will spend 1 year in the partner university. And at the end of the program, you will receive 2 degrees, the one from ESSEC and from the other school as well. I also wanted to mention that if you really want to have this international exposure, we have 3 international tracks possible. We have the IBA track. So the IBA, it's a partnership and alliance that we have with 3 other universities: University of Mannheim in Germany, University of South Carolina in the US, and the FGV in Brazil. The student who will do the IBA program will study in all the different universities. The second international track that we have is the Innovation Management track, with UC Berkeley Global. So students who will follow this track will go for 1 year in the US at UC Berkeley Global. And the third track that we have is developed jointly with USC, so University of South Carolina in the US. It's a track focused on international responsible leadership. Okay. Okay, so now what is also important is to know what you will learn exactly at ESSEC. So the teaching method at ESSEC is a mix between theory and the practice. So you have lectures, but you also have business games, for example. You have seminars. You have a lot of team projects. So during year 1 and year 2, you will learn core courses in business. For example, you have international marketing, you have geopolitics, you have finance, you have macroeconomics, and you also have to study 3 different languages. As we are a global BBA, languages are also important at ESSEC. So business English, for example, and then you can learn French. And then you can choose another language. It can be Italian or Spanish, German. You really have the choice. So that's for the first 2 years. And then the last 2 years, year 3 and year 4, you will be able to choose your courses. So you can specialize if you want to. Let's say you want to do luxury marketing, for example, or you think that now you want to have more, go deeper into the finance courses, for example. It can be sustainable development. So you have a catalog of courses, and you just select the courses that you want. Okay, so if you're interested, if you want to apply, of course, you will receive my information and my contact detail at the end of the presentation. But I just wanted to explain you how the application works at ESSEC. So you have to apply on our website. Usually we have 4 or 5 different rounds in the year if you want to apply. This was the example for this year, but for next year, for example, we usually have the early admission in October, then a session in January, another one in March, and one in May. So just briefly, same thing, if you are interested, we will have the time to exchange later on. But to give you an idea, we will ask for different documents like the academic transcript, for example, the English test, your CV, your academic recommendation letters. But we'll also look at what you're doing inside and outside the classroom, your project, your interest. So everything will be important. We will want to see what you can bring at ESSEC and if you can be a good fit for us. So that everything will be very important. Okay, so I think that's it for me. I will now leave the floor to the next speaker, Angung from Excelia Group. So I think we will start first with the video from Excelia Group. Thank you, everyone.
Every great adventure begins with a single step.
Our journey starts here.
At La Rochelle, in a pioneering school which is open to the world.
This is the start of an unforgettable journey. I've always had the soul of an explorer, in search of new horizons, and I like the idea of discovering something new with every step. And that's what Excelia has given me. A wide choice of courses, innovation and creativity at the heart of them all. They improve my skills for sure, but they also help me to develop as an individual and become more independent. Excelia has a bunch of innovative teaching methods which challenge you, take you beyond your comfort zone, give you the experiences you never imagined and that you'll never forget.
I like a challenge, and I want to conquer new worlds. The greatest challenges are also the toughest challenges. At Excelia, we find out about the realities of today's world. Incredible experiences, teaching us about humanity, integrity, and tolerance. Every day, I feel as though I'm growing and developing. My course is teaching me responsibility, self-sufficiency, leadership, and teamwork. I am involved in various biodiversity projects. Diversity, social responsibility, and long-term development are central to everything we do. At Excelia, we take time to consider the people around us and the planet we live on.
I want to find my place in the world. That means I have many roads to walk. It doesn't matter where. Every path leads somewhere new. I dare to travel far, to immerse myself totally in distant lands and cultures. Every time I felt I opened a new window on the world. I learned not to be afraid. I learned to live my dreams. To understand the world means looking and listening to others. Here, I mix with teachers and students from the 4 corners of the planet, and I have become a citizen of the world.
Make choices and open up a world of possibilities.
Develop a global vision and become a leader for future generations.
Dare to walk up unexplored paths and change the way we think.
Excelia, explore your future.
Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. So welcome to La Rochelle, because I'm actually based in La Rochelle. Thank you, Julie, for the floor. So just a quick brief information about myself. I'm Agung, and I'm the International Academic Advisor at Excelia Group. And for information as well, I graduated from the BB International of Excelia Group class of 2017. And today I will be presenting to you about the various opportunities about studies at Excelia Group. So before we start good further in details on the program, quick information about us is that we are consisted of 5 different schools. But today I will be presenting 2 different programs in which BB International from La Rochelle Business School and our La Rochelle Bachelor in Management and Tourism Hospitality. So we have been established since 1988, and we currently have 3,800 students on campus. First and foremost, talking about Excelia Group is about academic excellence, in which that we are accredited by several accreditation bodies such as ESSEC, EQUIS. We have recently been awarded by EQUIS. We are the only school in France who is accredited by United Nations World Tourism Organization with their third accreditation. And as well, we have recently been audited by AMBA, and we would get the result soon before the summer. And as well, regarding the academic excellence, we are featuring in the top 70 of the Financial Times ranking. So, as a former student myself and an international academic advisor, Excelia Group provides you with 360 degrees of experience, in which mainly about international, human, and as well professional-wise. Because first of all, regarding our international dimension is that a quarter of our students are international students coming from almost 80 different countries. And we have 2 different campuses in France. We have one in La Rochelle, another one in Tours, and we have 2 different off-site study locations, one in the US, another one in China. So as well, almost half of our faculty members are not French, means that they are international professors, and we have 170 partner universities across 49 countries. So I talked very briefly about the human side of Excelia, because we have a very specific experience which is called Humacité, which is a humanitarian project where you can see the world from a different angle. So it's a 2 to 3 months mission where you can work in one of our 300 partner organizations abroad, because most of them are done abroad. And the core values of Excelia is really on the sustainable development, because we've been the pioneer in regards towards sustainable development and CSR. As well, talking about international students, I should really emphasize that we have a very robust support system for international students before their arrival, during their studies, and upon graduation. So, for example, prior arrival, you would be assisted by 7 international offices. If you are in Europe, you would be in direct contact with me, and the International Admission Office to provide you helps from the application phase until your arrival in France. And if you could see, there is a very interesting logo there, which is called Bienvenue en France, which is a label awarded by Campus France, as we have accomplished a set of standards to welcome international students. So it's really interesting that we have a very specific department called Student Life, where you will have 50 associations there, and it's a one-stop student service where you can do everything from administrative, getting practical information, etc. And as well with the personal development, and regarding the exchange program with International Relations Office. And to end, in the end of your graduation, you can get in touch with the Les Réseaux Alumni, get in touch with me as a previous graduate to create the valuable links and participate in our graduate events. So, to start with, this is the program where I was graduated. I did my program 100% in English. Before, I didn't speak French at all. But of course, for those who speak French, they can pick the French track or they can pick the English track. We are doing this program in our La Rochelle and Paris campus. So Paris campus will be with our partner ESSEC, which is in Arcueil, which is like 20 minutes from Paris. And the start date is either in September and in January. And the idea is that BB International is really a 360 management courses, in which that you could see you have 5 different types of majors in the end. But you should not forget that this is a program 70% in management and 30% in geopolitics. So normally in your 3rd year, so you will have 4 years of studies, 50% will be done internationally. So 3rd year, you will go abroad to one of our partners, either as a double degree or as an exchange students. And in the fourth year, you will pick a specializations. Like starting next year, we will have a new specialization, again in collaboration with ESSEC, on lobbying and international relations for those who are interested in this type of modules. And if you are talking about 5 different reasons why, so first of all, it's a 1 year of master degree. If you would like to continue your master, you just need another year. Second of all, it's 50% of the program is taken internationally, so you will be outside a lot. Internship from year 1, year 2, and year 4 we should be done outside of France. Hybrid positioning, so you will have geopolitics and international management modules. And as well, this is a very strong international exposure program because you will have up to 45 different nationalities in one class, so it's very interesting. And we do have learning expeditions on year 1 and year 2, like for example, to Bilbao, to Marrakesh, and as well to Brussels, in order to understand how to do business in different types of regions. And the idea is that in the end of your studies, you will be a very agile manager with a strong hard skills, but as well a very adaptable managers, which is why 94% of our graduates find their jobs within 2 months of their graduation. So the second program that I would like to tell you is about the Bachelor in Tourism and Hospitality Management. So again, this is either in French or in English. And this is the only program in France accredited by United Nations World Tourism Organization. And we are also recognized as part of CEFET, which is Conférence des Formations Excellence du Tourisme. So for those, it's an association endorsing about the excellence of program in tourism. You have 2 different campuses possible, in La Rochelle or in Tours. And again, 2 different intakes in September and January with 8 different specializations, really for those who are interested towards the service industry. So go ahead towards the 3 years program, how it works. On second year, normally you can be able to do your 6 months exchange program in one of our partner universities. And during the 3 years program, you will have 12 months of company-based experience. And please note, like for example, at a BBA program, you will have English and French, if you don't speak French, as your second language. But in this specific program, you can have a third language if you don't speak one, such as Russian, Arabic, Portuguese, Chinese, or sign language. And as well, the most interesting part is that in the end of your studies, you will get a double university qualifications from one of our partner university. So for those who are interested about the application procedure at Excelia Group, we have 5 steps, very simple. First of all, you are required to do your online application directly at our website with your CV on your current proof of academic level and pay 50 euros application fees. Second of all, as soon as your application is confirmed, you will do your pre-recorded remote admissions interview. So you will have 1 week to do your interview directly online from your home. And you will get your results within 1 week of your interview. And as soon as you got admitted and you confirm your admission, you'll be getting in touch with me or one of my colleagues from the international offices in order to assist you administratively, and the student life will be helping you to do your final enrollment on campus. So before I continue, so if you could see that we have a virtual days also coming up. So thank you, Pavel, for uploading this. So we have a virtual open days. If you would like to have more details, I understand 10 minutes is not enough to discuss about 2 programs. And I understand, I've seen in the chat that you have several questions about what's happening with the 2020-2021 intake. So we, as you know, we are in the 21st century, we need to adapt, and Excelia Group knows how to adapt and knows how to personalize their program to adapt with the student scenario, in which that first of all, if you've seen the news that France have reopened the border progressively and giving priority for students, if you're interested for September intake, you can, for example, arrive on time, okay? And second of all, in case that you cannot come on time, we have a possibility of delayed arrival. And third of all, if, for example, the delay is not enough for you, you can pursue your studies online until you can arrive on campus. And the worst case scenario, we understand if you prefer, you can defer your intake to January or September 2020 intake. So, I think that's all from me. If you could see, that's my contact details, and on the handouts you have two different documents, which is you will have the brochure in which you could check page 12 and page 14 for the BBA and Bachelor in Management Tourism Hospitality program. You can also download our applications on the QR code on the right side of the screen. You can get all details of the programs. You will have 360 visits of the campus. We will do a campus game, escape game very soon, so check it out. And as well, next week, I will be doing another social media webinar on our social media, so check it out. And if you have if you have any more other questions, do not hesitate to contact me, and I'll be looking for your questions in the end of this webinar. And now I will be giving the floor to Lucie and Clémence from Vatel. Thank you.
I always say to our students that professional requires 5 main pillars: the knowledge, the know-how to behave, international, and managing people. This is what is required in our business to become a really good manager and obviously a really good director.
The multicultural aspect of this school testifies to how popular and the reputation the school has around the world.
Lo que me encanta de estar en Vatel Bordeaux es que todos mis compañeros vienen de diferentes partes del mundo, como Polinesia, Senegal, China y Estados Unidos. Entonces todos tenemos diferentes experiencias a las que debemos de adaptarnos. Es algo que no se aprende en los libros y te abre muchísimo la mente a nuevas experiencias y nuevas culturas.
L'avantage de Vatel, c'est que l'étudiant va pouvoir embrasser un monde professionnel qui évolue extrêmement vite. Et grâce à ces semaines d'alternance et à ces stages, les étudiants vont pouvoir voir un panel de professions extrêmement variées et ils vont beaucoup évoluer aussi dans leur façon de maturer leur projet professionnel.
Et ce qui est pratique en fait, c'est qu'on peut se forger un savoir-faire et une expérience pour ensuite être crédible par rapport aux futurs employeurs qu'on va avoir.
It helped me have a skills such as managing the staff who has no experience in the hospitality and how to make the team work together.
Ce qui est le plus frappant, c'est quand ils partent en stage de 4 mois, on ne les reconnaît pas. Ça, c'est vraiment impressionnant. Quand ils reviennent de 4 mois, ils partent, ils sont petits, ils reviennent, ils ont pris de la maturité, ils sont sûrs d'eux.
Avec les stages, j'ai beaucoup d'expérience pour quelqu'un de mon âge et grâce au réseau de Vatel Bordeaux, c'est vraiment un tremplin pour trouver des opportunités une fois diplômé.
Nous avons Alexis qui était à Vatel Bordeaux et ensuite Nils qui a fait Vatel Montréal. Par la suite de leur stage, on a prolongé par un CDI.
Ici, il y a la possibilité de se spécialiser en matière de vin et spiritueux, en plus avec des cours complètement en anglais. C'est vraiment ce qui m'intéressait et je ne suis pas déçu parce qu'une fois que je suis arrivé ici, je me suis rendu compte qu'il y avait vraiment ce que je cherchais, c'est-à-dire autant du côté marketing du vin, des spiritueux, que du côté dégustation et découverte, contact avec les professionnels du milieu.
L'école Vatel aussi m'a permis, par son réseau, de découvrir d'autres personnalités du monde de l'hôtellerie internationale. Je pense par exemple au directeur de l'hébergement à Lausanne, au Beau Rivage Palace, ou encore certains directeurs dans des maisons de parisiennes comme au Meurice, ou encore certaines personnalités du Georges V.
Et ce qui est cool à Bordeaux en plus, c'est qu'il y a des bars partout, il y a des restaurants partout, et puis on peut les tester, et pour des soirées entre amis, ça, c'est que du bonheur.
Yes, you have to work hard, but you are going to meet amazing people here and make friends for life.
Like me.
Benvenuti a Vatel Bordeaux. Bienvenue à Vatel Bordeaux.
Bienvenidos a Vatel Bordeaux.
Bienvenue à Vatel Bordeaux. 欢迎来到瓦代勒波尔多小区。
来呀来呀！
for the price of one. So I'm Clémence, I'm international recruitment manager, and she's Lucy.
I'm Lucy Fuentes. I'm the director of the International Recruitment Department.
We represent Vatel Business School, which is part of the Vatel Group, the biggest group specialized on the hospitality environment and obviously on the wine and spirit industry in the world. Today we're going to try to talk about the hospitality in this in terms of opportunities. It's true that with the coronavirus, maybe you're thinking, asking the question why you should invest your money in this kind of studies. Well, the answer is people will still want to continue traveling, will still want to continue having a good time. We are at the end of lockdown here, and all we could think about was basically travel and be able to go back to the restaurants.
Or enjoy some drink at a cafe, at the terrace. So, as Clémence was saying, is actually something whose just may actually help you think of a different way of consuming, of seeing hospitality and this industry. So actually it will be good for you, for your creativity. So follow us. We're going to tell you how to do that.
So basically, here you can find some tendencies, some trends which already started before the whole crisis. So we're going to turn to something more sustainable and more local. Sustainability in the way that we're going to, and we're already starting to see smaller hotels, which will be dedicated, for instance, more to everything related to the environment. You can already see these trends in countries like South Africa, for instance, but in Central Europe, we can see that there are more and more different tourism, which is actually great in terms of opportunities for you. Same thing for entrepreneurship. If you want to create your own company, which obviously we will encourage you to do and we will give skills for you to do, that actually could be a very interesting project, especially in terms of, for instance, the wine and spirit industry, if you want to work in the import-export. Same thing for automatization and artificial intelligence. That's something that is already starting to move the lines and change a lot in terms of the organization of the work and in terms of all the way that we are thinking. So you can, for instance, think about Japan, about South Korea. These countries are already making steps towards more intelligent hotels and something which is going to be a massive revolution. So obviously, all the digital, the artificial intelligence is going to create a lot of new jobs in the hospitality industry.
And it's already the case when Clémence was talking about Japan. You can, of course, want to go over there just to have a robot come in and say hello to you and bring you breakfast. But what will be also very important, it's the period of COVID, it's the experience that you're going to have with the guest. So it means something probably much more close to family-oriented to how you will actually welcome somebody and take care of it. So it will be very important.
The experience is always the key in this kind of industry. So it's going to be more and more and still more important.
So just for you to see what kind of position you're going to have. So as Clémence was saying, we are changing, evolving. So the basic position, as you may think today, it's going to be waiter, it's going to be sommelier, it's going to be everything related to food and beverage, housekeeping, the people that you're meeting when you're coming to the front office. Those are the basic positions that usually, as a guest, you already have an idea of how an hotel is working. But you will also discover in Vatel the back office. So everything related to human resources, to marketing, communication, event management. You're going to go even something very more specific. Like Clémence was saying, it will be about data, it will be about AI, innovation, entrepreneurship. So don't think about hospitality just about what you're seeing as a guest. Remember, it's based on your personality, based on your dreams, based on your project. It's going to be trying to see what's fit to you. You come to the school, you get some knowledge, you take some experience. And after that, with that, you're going to be able to discover, to create. We're training people to actually have a good basic, but also to become entrepreneur and think of the future. So for that, we are offering bachelor and MBA. We are very operational. So Vatel, we represent Vatel Bordeaux. So we are in south of France, but Vatel, it's 50 campuses around the world. Most of the Vatel campus will offer a bachelor. Bachelor will be, for us in Bordeaux, 2 weeks at school, 2 weeks practice. Plus, you will have an internship each year. The first year, you're going to go and you're going to learn everything from the basic, the operation. I was telling you about housekeeping. You will go in a food and beverage restaurant. You will discover the front office and basically the concrete aspect of the job. Plus, you will have an internship in France, or if you're coming from a foreign country, in your own country. Now, second year, you will go into the back office. You will go into discovering all the communication events that I was saying previously, also the finance, because remember, we are a business school. So you're here also to learn about the basic of how to make money. And during the second year, you will try to find, by experimenting, because we are thinking that is the good way for you to become a manager, to know all the position. You will also try to see what's fit and what is good for you. At the end of your internship, you decide, let's say that for the first year, you went to a restaurant. You end up having your feet burning, so you don't want to go again for the second year. In this case, you may decide to go for marketing. So you see, you're experimenting and you're trying to adjust your path and your career. Second year, your internship, you're going abroad. And for the third year, you're already a future assistant manager, and we're expecting actually for you to know a little bit more what you want and to try to go either into entrepreneurship, either going deeper into specialization. And as Clémence will tell you later, our specialization in Bordeaux, it's the wine and spirit. So here, the third year, you even have a lab of the future. You will work inside of an hotel trying to decipher the trends and what can be good for you, where you want to see yourself, even as a general manager or as an entrepreneur.
In any case, there are two main notions for us. It's basically your return on investment and employability. And that's basically what we can guarantee at the end of the bachelor. You can also continue and do an MBA and its specialization. I'm not going to go into details on these programs, but just so you know, it's in both cases, they are going to last 18 months. And most of all, you have one internship, which is obviously key to boost your employability. And it gives you the right to the APA status, which means that you will be able to stay back for a year, at least in France, if you want, and also find a job here, if it's what you desire. In terms of what we offer for the program, so this is our specialization. In any case, what is important is with this kind of tracks, be it the regular hospitality program or the specialization, you are in for a very interesting and innovative career. As far as Vatel itself is concerned and what we do for our students, we all know that it's very important, especially when you're young and you arrive in France for the first time, and this will be reassuring for the parents as well. We take care of the students. We are not a big school. We have about 736 students, I believe, at the last count.
We have 56 different nationalities.
So as you can see, we're very used to having international students around. So our staff speak English, and we have put together a lot of things for the students, including an international students affair. I mean, for the beginning, it will be us helping you with
and after that, the students affair will help you. So for the visa, it's us. After that, it's going to be for the accommodation, for the social security.
Opening your bank account. You know, all the paperwork, which is really a pain when you arrive and you really don't know where to start, and it's a different language. So we're here to help you with that. Same thing when you're going to stay in France. I mean, our students person is Chloe. She will be there throughout your present and your stay in France. And same thing for the after. We have a very big alumni network.
And for the internship, you're not alone elsewhere. We having a dedicated office, and we have 100% placement, meaning that we're helping you to find an internship like that. You're sure to have something covered.
Yeah, we receive about 3 offers per student.
Yes.
So it's a very, very good corporate relation program.
As we were saying at the beginning, 26 years of experience. It means that we are well known in Bordeaux region in France, but also worldwide, based on the fact that we have already 50 campuses in the world. Now for the admission requirement.
So it's quite direct. You're going to be doing an admission interview and some entrance tests with personality analytics questions. In terms of the document, as you can see it on the slide, it's quite straightforward. In any case, we will help you do your application from the very beginning. So feel free to contact us on the email address written on the slide, and we'll be able to do an admission interview with you.
And just a last thing to add, our education is totally in English. You will have some French mandatory, and you will be able to learn Spanish or German, depending of your study. If you want to go for the French education, as Campus France was saying previously, you will need a B2 level in French, and in this case, English will be mandatory, plus you will have Spanish and German. So that's it for us. So if you want to have further questions about hospitality, contact us and we'll be happy to discuss your project and your future career.
And I believe that Pavel will be able to share with you the brochure and also the virtual tour of the campus. So it gives you an idea of where we are in the city and what we offer.
It was nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much for your great questions. I would like to invite my colleague Anar to join the session, and we can both try to answer some of your questions. So thank you very much for your patience. It was very nice session with all our presenters from these three great French schools. But now I would like to ask Anar to help you all understand a little bit better how the whole application process in France is going. And I'll be questioning some of the questions that you have shared with us in the chat, so Anar can go and cover some of them. So Anar, can someone from another university from abroad transfer to France? And what is the procedure about that?
Okay, thank you, Pavel, for posing these questions. Okay, it's totally possible to transfer from one university to another, even if your original university is in another country. It's up to the university where you apply to give you the conditions. Also, it depends on your academic context. It depends whether you are transferring with the same major, the same faculty, the same school. So it's going to be really easy if it's the same major. You can even transfer from, if you're on the second year and you want to join the third year, so it's going to be possible. It's up to you. It's up to the university.
Okay, and we have another question from a couple IB students asking if they can benefit something from their IB diploma, and especially do they need to do the tests that you were sharing about during your presentation in the beginning?
Okay. In most cases, in 90% of cases, you are exempted from French exam. It's up to the universities, and I think that Julie from ESSEC said that they exempt from the French test. Also, you are going to have another procedure of applying to public universities, for example. You don't have to choose 3 universities and pass by Campus France if you have an IB diploma, but you're going to have to pass by an online platform, which is called Parcoursup, and you can contact us to ask more questions about that, because it's a different procedure, and I didn't talk about this one today.
Okay, can you just give, because I saw it a couple of times in the chat, some kids are wondering about the accreditation and the recognition of the French diploma. Can you briefly tell us a bit more about this? And both of us might be giving the floor to our university representatives to answer some of the specific questions that have been shared already.
Okay, it's a very good question. First of all, I must tell you that there is a special international organism that works with accreditations and degrees comparison. That means that you probably have to contact them. It's called ENIC-NARIC. Also, you can contact us to learn about it more. If the institution where you apply, or maybe at work you're asked to provide more information about your diploma and you need the accreditation, you'll have to contact this international organism, so they provide you with the necessary documentation, necessary documents. It's going to be eligible, your diploma. But mostly the French diploma is easily received in European countries.
Yeah, that's definitely something that the students are in need to know, because the recognition actually is the most important part of the reason why you are going to study abroad and why you are going to university. So Anat, thank you so much for covering these questions. I would like to give the floor to our representatives from the different universities so they can answer some of the specific questions. I'll be reading some of them to them, and we will answer the student that. So we have one question very specific about for ESSEC Business School. Can I have Madame Pignon back to the screen so that she can? Oh,
hello.
Hi. So Julie, we have a couple of questions that have been asked for specifically ESSEC, but we also have some of them being actually general. One of them is how many IB points are required to apply to ESSEC?
Okay, so for the application, we don't have a strict minimum IB points because we will consider, of course, your academic achievement. So your predicted IB, your grades for the past 3 years, but we will also consider academic recommendation letters, for example. And as I mentioned, we also consider everything that you have done outside the classroom, extracurricular activities, projects, your interest. So everything will be considered. So that's why we don't have a specific minimum IB required. But just to be general, most of our students who applied at ESSEC with the IB, I also mentioned that they don't have to provide a French test, because if you apply, for example, for the English program, you don't have to apply with a French test or with an English test. If you're doing the IB, you are waived. So yes, you are waived for all the French test and the English test.
Okay, thank you very much. We got a question which is actually very important for all of us who are attending today's session and those who will be watching it after. Do you guys have any specific regulations regarding the corona pandemic? And in case of second wave, do you still allow people to come and study on campus? Or as Agung mentioned, you're having different plans for online and offline education. Can you Agung, tell us a bit more about your plans for Excelia? And I would be glad to hear from the three of you, so the students are well informed.
Yes. Perfect. So thank you, Pavel, and students for the question. So indeed, that this is a very particular year for everybody, in which that, first of all, you were talking about the second wave and things like that. Of course, that Excelia group is working very tightly with the French government. So, for example, I have mentioned very briefly like 4 different possibilities for students regarding the September 2020 intakes, in which that if, for example, they will be able to come to France and be able to present on campus during the beginning of the intake, then in this case, it's no problem, but in which that we are taking into consideration the French government advice and recommendations. So for example, we will be pushing more into, the hybrid model, in which the students will be having a bit of mix of both the present on-campus teaching method and blended learning, because the idea is that, first of all, to respect the physical distance between one student to another, and as well to make sure that all students have the same experience regarding to that. And so if by any chance they couldn't come on time, then they have late arrival, they can even defer their intakes to January or September 2021 intake. So just maybe for students, quick information that Excelia group, we since I was a student, we've been really doing things about the blended learning and things like that. But due to the coronavirus, our students went directly online starting from day one of the lockdown. So we got a very positive experience from our students, and I really hope that everything will be good by September 2020.
We have a better outcome by the end of the summer. Ladies, would you please tell us a bit more about the plans at Vatel Bordeaux in case of a second wave, and how exactly the students will be?
Sorry. I mean, our luck is that our intakes are a bit later than the usual other general business schools. Our intakes will be in November. So for us, normally there shouldn't be any delay, and hopefully, and as we are also very connected with the French authorities, we hope that according to the information we have, our students will not be delayed. As our classes are mostly based on practice, especially for the bachelor, it's difficult for us to go and say that we are not going to be able to do the practice. In any case, we have put together a lot of classes online, the blended learning model, as we have done during the lockdown as well, and we have equipped the classroom as well a lot.
Yeah, and as we were all trying to adapt, as Clémence told you during the presentation, we are very used to have international students, meaning that it's not just about when the lockdown was here, not about taking about the academics or how you're going to do the exam. It's also keeping the link with the students. So we were offering some classes, yoga classes, Pilates classes, webinar on wellness, stress management, and also trying to think of the future and see and discuss with a panel of professionals to try to keep the mind aware of course, it's a pandemic, and of course it's touching the whole world, but there is also a future after that. And so right now for the bachelor, we are not really worried, because what can happen is actually with an intake in November, it's a delay in the visa based on what the bachelor exam can happen, because some countries decide to postpone this exam. But as for us, and probably as numbers of school and university, we are prepared to wait a little bit. And in this case, online classes will be proposed to the student for them not to miss anything. But we all hope that we're going to be able to welcome the students physically, because that's the point of having international students on campus.
In any case, we have worked on the scenarios, and we are prepared for pretty much every possibility.
Great, that's great to hear that. And Julie, can you tell us about ESSEC's position on this?
Yes. So we plan as well to have a mix between online classes and classes on campus. So we have equipped the classroom for that. We also plan to have smaller classroom in order for the student to come and respect the sanitary measures that was imposed by the government. For example, for students, if in any case you don't get your visa on time for September, we will also allow you to start online and join us during the semester if you have some weeks of delay. But as it was mentioned at the beginning, the French presidents announced that the borders will reopen for non-European, for the non-Schengen zone starting on July 1st. And that international student and that the visa process will be issued again. So we are really hopeful that we will be able to welcome our students, but in case you're not able to arrive on time, of course, you will have the possibility to start online and join us after.
That's great. So again, there is a question which is pretty much for the three of you, and it's about the recognition of the AP, the advanced placement. Do you take into consideration the advanced placement when students are applying with such a proficiency/diploma? How is the situation with you going about this?
When you're talking about AP, advanced placement, so it's the student is coming from the American high school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yes, exactly, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, like, how we see your documents at Excelia is that if you are doing AP program, that's great for you, which means that you are doing you are taking a college program while you are finishing your high school. That's great for you, but it is not a prerequisite for the applications. So if you have it, that would be an interesting point that, you know, because the admission board will not only check on your interview, which is very important, but also your documents. So if you are taking AP programs, that's good for you, but it's not an obligation for the students to take it.
Yeah. And should I consider that it's the same for you, Julie, or?
Yes. Well,
I must tell you about the requirement. We are passing an interview, and we have our personal online test. So of course, if the students already have a great level, we will be happy, but it will have no, unfortunately, no.
Not going to
only
be,
points.
not going to be spared the
They will have to pass the interview and the online test.
Okay, and
for us, I just wanted to add that we don't require APs. So if we don't require a specific numbers of APs, for example, of course, if you've done some APs during high school, it's great. The same for SAT, for example. SAT is not a requirement, but if you have done the SAT, you can add it as an additional document into your application. And we will look specifically at the math section of the SAT. Okay. But if you want to have, more information, if you come from an American high school regarding APs, SAT, I think the best would be to contact me. You have my information details, and I'll be able to explain you exactly how we proceed with the admission for a student coming from American high school.
Great, thank you very much. Another question, which is tend to be something that scares a lot of the students that have been watching us today. If they are going to study in one of your English programs, do they need any French exams like the ones that Anna has been talking about? Is the French proficiency required if you are enrolling in an English program?
I mean, no.
No, that's
the whole point.
No. For if you study English, you you just give us an English test. It's except for the students who have done all their studies already in an English high school, for instance, or American system high school. But no, we don't require any French test. And in any case, you will have French classes throughout the 3 years of your bachelor. And you will be immersed in French countries, so you will learn a lot already of the French language like that.
That's great. So everybody who is not very much into learning French in order to apply to the university, you can do it with your English. I have a specific question for Julie, because you have mentioned about the different campuses that ESSEC has, and one of the students joining us today is asking, is it obligatory to change campus each year, or can do the entire program in the Paris campus?
So you can stay in the same campus during the program. The inter-campus mobility, the fact to switch campuses, is optional. So if you want, you can stay in the Paris campus. The only thing that is mandatory is the fact to do a 6 months exchange program with another university. So not in our ESSEC campus, with a partner university. It's a 6 months exchange program. This one is required, but switching campuses is not required. It's optional.
I think it was clear. Agunk, a question to you regarding the offerings that you have.
Yes.
First of all, do you have something related to the IT, information technologies? A student was asking this question as part of the group. Do you have such major? And also, is it just the interviews without testing that you need in order to get enrolled?
I see. So to answer your first question, yes, indeed, if you have downloaded my handouts, you could see that we have 5 different schools, including La Rochelle Digital School. So we do have a program related to IT. So for those who really want to be a programmer, web designer, and things like that, we have a program in Bachelor of Web Design. but this program is currently offered only in French, which is why I didn't bring this matter up today for the presentation. But in case that you do speak French and you are interested to work in the digital as a programmer, that might be a program for you. But if not, like for example, if you are interested in the IT, working in the IT industry as, let's say, a manager or digital marketer, which was the case of I did my internship, my last year internship in one of Google agency. So if you are interested in this case, I would advise you to go with the BBA International program, more towards Bachelor Tourism and Hospitality. And regarding your second questions, Pavel, on the admission procedure, so indeed, like when you apply, you are required to have your CV and your last proof of academic levels. And why the admission interview is really important to us, because like you can be a very intelligent student, but you don't share the same values of Excelia group, for example. So what we are looking in the admission interview is really about the student's profile, about not only what they have done academically, but also, you know, outside in the project, or if they have been involved in various associations, which was the case that I did. So I finished like second in my high school in Indonesia. I'm from Bali, by the way. I finished second in my high school, and then I applied to Excelia group. And the thing that is interesting for me, why I chose Excelia in the first place, is that they really put my profile out of, you know, like really try to match it. And if we don't think that you are a good match, regardless of your academic level, of course, it's a different story.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a question which is again to all of you, because a lot of students were asking about the scholarship opportunities. Anar was telling about the overall tuition fees range in the state institutions in France during her presentation. But do you think you can share now, or maybe you would prefer to send the information to students over their emails about scholarships that you're offering? Can you tell a bit more?
Yes, so we do offer scholarships at ESSEC Business School. We have what we call the Excellence Scholarship that will be awarded to depending on your grades, on your academic achievements. And we also have what we call the Diversity Scholarship. So this one, this scholarship is just for international students. It will depend, it will awarded to international students depending on your academic achievement, but also your motivation and what you have included in your application. Scholarship can cover 25% or 30% of the tuition fees.
Tell us, ladies, what is the situation with scholarship opportunities at Vatel Bordeaux?
So for the scholarships, we don't offer scholarship for the bachelor program. We do, however, have some possibilities for the MBA program. But in any case, this will not be a lot of money. I have to be honest with you. A lot of the scholarship we will recommend, obviously, will be from Campus France. In this case, for instance, you have for the MBA program, you will have the FL, for instance, FL application. Everything should be sent by the school by January of the next year, for instance. So in any case, if you are interested in applying for scholarships, it's always better to do your application for the schools very early in the year, because most of the application calls will happen between, let's say, January and March of the year prior to your integration in the school.
And for Vatel, we are offering a very professional approach, meaning that the students can work 20 hours per week. And it's very easy when you're doing hospitality to find a job. It's good for your resume. So we highly encourage the students to do so. And our internship of 4 months are paid. So by law, they're paid 570 euros when they're working in France. So that's why, and after that, when you're entering the school, you have in second year of the bachelor, you can ask for a special scholarship whose, I will say it's not a scholarship, it's actually something that you ask based on your the way your grade and your marks weighs on the first year. So it's not something that we offer to everybody. It's basically a competition with all the students.
Thank you very much. And Agun, can you tell us more if there are scholarships for international students that are offered at Excelia Group?
So we do not provide any scholarship. I mean, like from our side, indeed, that the scholarship that is available from Campus France, it's available for all of you, but not regarding the Excelia Group. But however, for those who applied and confirmed their admission during the first wave, for example, you will be able to get a reduction of 10% for your first year of tuition fees at Excelia Group, which might be interesting for you, financially speaking.
Okay, that's great. So I believe there are a couple more questions that we were not able to answer, but all of you who are watching us from all over the world, we will be sending you information about the contact details of our presenters today, and you can reach out to them directly and ask your questions. Since we are way past 1 hour time for our session, I would like to thank our presenters today and all the attendees, all the students that have been with us asking all these great questions. And actually, I would like to thank you all for being with us. Thank you, Anar from Campus France. Thank you, Agung from Excelia Group. Thank you, ladies from Vatel Bordeaux. I will not go with pronouncing your names wrongly, so ladies would work the best. Julie, thank you very much. For me, from the SRT team, it was a pleasure hosting and moderating this webinar for all of you. Stay tuned for more SRT webinars upcoming in the next days, and don't even think, apply and go to study in France, one of the best destinations. Thank you so much and have a great rest of the day, and watch this video that we have prepared for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pavel.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Dear all, President of the